Hello and welcome to Retro Reviews, and today I'm super excited to talk about the state of play that happened last week. I had to take a couple extra days to write down all my thoughts and get everything out there. I even made a cheat sheet for all the games because this is quite possibly, and in my opinion, the best state of play that Sony has ever produced. It was filled to the brim with great announcements. There were still some stinkers. There were still some that looked kind of goofy. You know, there's always going to be something in there that's not for everybody or even not for a lot of people. But for the most part, this was a banger. Tons of great announcements, tons of surprises, whole 60-minute state of play. This felt like the E3 of old for Sony. And it's really awesome to see because Sony has been on the back foot for a while in terms of their games. They haven't really felt the need to press forward because Microsoft has not been putting any real pressure on them. Nintendo's been, doing big numbers and everything with the Switch and now the Switch 2, but they haven't been putting out a ton of games either. So there's just kind of been a stalemate between all these companies because no one's really doing a whole lot. Sony finally came out the gate and said, you know what? We do have games. We don't just have Ghost of Yotei here that just barely came out here. So I want to go over all of the great announcements. I'll be going over, first off, we'll go over the stuff that I think we've already seen stuff about where I wasn't as excited about. I won't go over every single one, but this is a mostly exhaustive list because it was faster to do the games I wasn't excited about than the games that I was excited about in this presentation. So let's go over a few of these here. So first and foremost, we've got a couple of games that I already knew enough about. 007 First Light and Resident Evil Requiem. We knew we'd see a Resident Evil Requiem trailer here. It was new footage, which is always really nice. We do get a little bit tidbits of information here. That's a game I'm already excited about. I didn't care about more Resident Evil Requiem because we already know it's coming out this month. We already know what it's going to be more or less. We don't need to see more. It's just a nice little bonus. Same thing with 007 First Light. It looks pretty good. I think it'll be a lot of fun. Carrying on kind of the Lara Croft and Nathan Drake kind of gameplay and everything. I am excited about that one. But again, we've already heard about this one at nauseum, so wasn't super excited about that. Other games include like 4 Loop, Beast of Reincarnation, Crimson Moon, and Marathon. Don't really care about those, but those looked like maybe higher profile releases, especially Marathon. That's one that Bungie's been doing for a while and a lot of people have been really skeptical about. So if you're excited about any of those games, let me know in the comment section down below. But now let's get into the meat and potatoes of this because we had several developers specifically really go hog wild. Let's start off with the final announcement, which was the God of War trilogy getting remade. Absolutely insane. Santa Monica working on that. Does it need a remake? Maybe, maybe not. We had the collection on the PlayStation 3, but it is nice to see that we're getting all the games for modern consoles here. A lot of the games that are locked on the PlayStation 3, it kind of sucks that you can't play them now unless you own a PlayStation 3. So it's good to see some love getting shown toward, especially a franchise like God of War, where 2018 is one of my top 10 favorite games of all time. Ragnarok was an exceptional sequel. It's nice to be able to go back and visit the original trilogy now. This will likely spark porting over the PSP games as well, and heck, maybe even the prequel game on the PS3. I think it'd be really fantastic to see all of God of War finally make it to modern consoles. As much as I don't love ports and stuff, a remake of the original games does intrigue me in a lot of ways. I was also really excited about the, Sons of Sparta game, the 2D Metroidvania. Looks pretty solid, looks really fun. For $30, I think it's worth jumping in for. I mean, sure, why not more God of War stuff? A really surprise announcement that was available the next day. That was really darn cool. I think there's been some mixed reviews so far, but I think it's been generally in the good region. I think that will hopefully improve over time. But if not, I guess, it's something. It's something to tie over the God of War fans until those come out. So just, if nothing else, the excitement is building for the God of War franchise, which makes me very excited. Also building is for the Metal Gear Solid Collection, Volume 2, finally getting Guns of the Patriots off of the PlayStation 3. We're also getting Peace Walker over, and I think some other little things, but those are the two big ones, obviously. The one negative side is that I've heard that Peace Walker will not be having, Peace Walker will have the online gameplay, whereas Guns of the Patriots will not. I think that's a little funky. I'm not sure why they decided on the PSP one getting the online play instead of the Guns of the Patriots, but nevertheless, it's really cool to see Guns of the Patriots get off the PlayStation 3. And we're going to have updates for like the Switch 2 version of Volume 1, which is really cool. We'll finally have the Metal Gear Saga on current platforms. Again, it's nice to see some love getting shown, especially from Konami. They actually announced several things. Konami has been, hit or miss over the last couple years. We had the Silent Hill 2 remake. We had the Silent Hills get canceled. We had the Silent Hill F. We've had some ebbs and flows here, but it looks like they're finally back in force. They also announced Castlevania Belmont's Curse, starring Trevor Belmont Belmont is coming. That's freaking exciting. Finally, some more Castlevania. I've been playing Blasphemous a lot lately, and it makes me just yearn for more Castlevania. I love what Blasphemous is. It feels like a perfect spiritual successor to Castlevania. I'm excited to see more of Castlevania. Also, I think, let's see, what else do they have on there? The Rayman, oh wait, no, this is for Ubisoft. Rayman 30th anniversary really excited me because I love Rayman as a character. His original game is phenomenal. I like that they're using the different versions of the game. I think that's pretty fun for a collection. If you haven't played the original Rayman, you should absolutely do that. Whether it's buying this collection or not, I think you should play the original Rayman game. It's a phenomenal platformer. It's pretty brutal in some of the areas, but it's so much fun. My first exposure was on the Game Boy Advance. That made me really excited. And again, Ubisoft revisiting their properties is good for them because right now all they've got is Assassin's Creed and I guess now Rayman. Maybe this will hopefully spark some interest in some new Rayman games because Legends and Origins were the best Rayman games they have ever made. I'd love to see more of that too. But it's really nice to see Konami hitting, Ubisoft hitting. We also had Control Resonant, which is a game I'm extremely excited about. I love Control. I know it wasn't everyone's cup of tea in the Remedy-verse. I loved Control, and this one looks much different than the original Control game. This one you're taking on the role of Dylan here, and he has, it looks like he has plenty more powers to go over. It looks like he can fly through the air a little more freely than Jesse was able to. And the inversion mechanics, the gravity mechanics, that looks a lot like Gravity Rush, makes me very excited. It also looks very focused on stuff like melee combat instead of gunplay, which I think would be really cool to shift focus to make it feel a lot more different. So I'm very excited about that. Control is one of my favorite PlayStation 4 games of all time. I'm excited to see what they do with Resonant. Darwin's Paradox is a really funny announcement. It's like a squid Metal Gear Solid, very clearly inspired by Metal Gear Solid because they show him under the box and the little sound effect and everything. Looks hilarious. A tactical espionage game where you're an octopus or a squid here. Looks hilarious. We also had Dead or Alive 6 getting a port over to modern consoles as well as a new game in development. I love the Dead or Alive franchise. I remember playing it way back on the Dreamcast, my first exposure to it. I love the arena style games. I loved Dead or Alive. I loved Soul Calibur. I think they're really fun. So I'm excited to see what the series will do to evolve that formula. I would like to get back into Dead or Alive because it's been a while, but I remember very fondly those games back on the Dreamcast. We also had a new John Wick game get announced, an untitled one so far. It looks more true to John Wick instead of something like the tactical gameplay that we had from the other John Wick game that came out, which looks fine. I have no problem with that. But getting a full-on John Wick game, I think, is something that everybody's really excited about. There's also the Kena Scars of Cosmora, which is a sequel to a game that came out, I think, 4 or 5 years ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago at this point. That game looked phenomenal. I never played it, but I did see it got pretty good reviews. The art style was gorgeous. This looks way better in terms of its style, in terms of its overall aesthetic. The gameplay looks phenomenal. That's one I'm excited about. It makes me excited about the original game too. I will probably go and play that in anticipation for this one. We also had Legacy of Kain Defiance getting a remaster, which is really cool. People love the Legacy of Kain games. We've seen that with the Legacy of Kain collection, the 1 and 2. It's nice to see that series get some loves. There's a lot of love for Legacy of Kain. Marvel Tokon looks phenomenal. I'm excited about it. I think there's a lot of buzz around like Wolverine coming back. I think Arxis makes really phenomenal fighting games in general. I'm excited to see how good Marvel Tokon is going to be. I participated in the betas. I had a lot of fun with them. I'm excited for this one to finally come out. We also had Project Windless, which looks hilarious. This is your chicken souls. This is your giant chicken man. I thought it looked hilarious. I thought it was a meme at first. And then as it went on, I was like, this looks actually good. It looks like something that they want to catch your attention with it to distinguish it from other Souls-likes and stuff like that in the genre. It actually looks pretty fun. It actually looks like a really cool idea. And I'm excited to see what the lore is surrounding this. I think the idea to make this chicken man the main character is really enticing. I think they did a good job kind of piquing the interest of a lot of people. Another one that I was excited about was Rev Noir. That looks really fun. That's another Konami one. Silent Hill Townfall, another Konami. They're the ones I missed earlier. Can't believe we're finally getting some more Konami love here. Saros, which is the spiritual successor, or maybe it's a sequel. I think it actually might be just a sequel to... oh no. I've lost the name. It's a phenomenal PS5 game. It's the roguelike, the third-person shooter roguelike. I'm losing it all of a sudden. Saros looks phenomenal. I'm really excited about that. I loved the other game in the franchise here, so I'm really excited about Saros. Getting some more information on that really made me excited here. Mina the Hollower, the new Yacht Club games announcement looks really fantastic. I'm excited to see it. It looks more like a Zelda game and less like a platformer, like a Capcom kind of platformer like the original Hollow Knight did. The Hollower looks more like maybe a Zelda RPG in a lot of ways. I'm excited to see more dynamic instead of just having the 2D side-scroller kind of aspect. I'm excited to see what they're going to do with that. It looks really fun. I think I'll be buying that one day one. I know there's been a lot of buzz about that, this like hinging on Yacht Club's hinging on this Yacht Club games hinging on the success of this game, which I think is crazy since Hollow Knight was so successful. I think it will be a slam dunk. I think people will love it. I'm really excited about that. And the last one I want to talk about is the Star Wars Galactic Racer, which looks like a full-on spiritual successor to Pod Racer. Holy crap, it looks really fun. I'm a sucker for Pod Racer. I played the heck out of that game on the Nintendo 64. I remember my stick getting broken on the joystick, breaking on that because I kept having to press it and doing the back and forth thing. I love Pod Racer. This one looks really, really fun. Overall, I think this is easily the best state of play Sony has ever done. Tons of big hitters, lots of surprises, lots of returns for big franchises. I think this will pique a lot of interest in Metal Gear Solid. This will pique a lot of interest for God of War fans. I think this really signals a step forward for Sony as well, maybe considering their older properties and everything. I think they've gotten a lot of flack from people for saying they don't have a whole lot of IPs when they're sitting on a ton of IPs that have a ton of life that they could bring to them. I would love to see them give some more life to those, whether that be in direct sequels or porting them over or giving us collections, whatever it might be. I think it's a good idea to do that so that people can experience the classics and people can get to know these characters that made Sony a big brand in the first place. Metal Gear Solid was originally like a Sony specific property. We had the remake on the GameCube of the original game, but if you were playing Metal Gear, it's because you had a PlayStation 1 or a PlayStation 2. It's nice to see them kind of referencing their past and really looking forward to their future with these older properties. So let me know in the comment section down below what you thought of the state of play. Was it as excellent as I'm making it out to sound? Are you less excited about it? There were not as many games for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.